Hey, it's Jay. Have I told you, personally, about the sitcom Ghosts? No, not the drab comedic series Ghosts, UK. I'm talking about Ghosts, US, that airs right now on CBS on terrestrial television. I assume I don't know how to check. I know what you're thinking. Oh no, another American version of British TV. It's going to be broader and bland to better fit American audiences. And yes, that is true, but also it's good and does it in a funnier way. Ghosts is a simple premise. It follows the events at Woodstone Manor, which has been haunted for a century by some ghosts. Just a bunch of ghosts. Way too many ghosts possibly be at one location, but it's fine. It's an ensemble cast. The manor recently came into possession of Samantha and Jay, a hip young couple who are considering turning it into a B&B. A haunting attempt leads to Sam slipping on a vase and falling down the stairs, coming close enough to death's door to be able to see and communicate with ghosts. The accident solidifies the couple's goal and they return to start converting the house when Sam realizes the place is haunted and makes peace with the ghosts who live in the house, learning about their lives, their mundane afterlife, and helping them with things they need. Hopefully so they can get enough character development to eventually get sucked off, the show's perpetually juvenile way of describing ascending to heaven. Oh, yeah, heaven is real. We don't know a lot about it because people who live in heaven aren't allowed to talk about it, on penalty of bursting into flames. Hell is real too. You can go down there if you are too unrepentant, and it's bad there. They play Chumbawamba all the time, and people can apparently day trip out of it to make devil's bargains with people, or maybe just be allowed to pull a con. This episode isn't very good. They just want an excuse to get the good Matt Walsh back on the show, and frankly, I don't blame them. I could tell you more about it. I wrote like 3,000 words, but I kept finding myself just explaining the jokes of the show to you. The show is so enjoyable because the writing team is well aware of the premise and have fun stretching it to its necessary extremes. So instead, we'll keep it short as I stay on theme and discuss the Halloween episodes in the first 3 seasons, as those episodes highlight why this show is cool. It's Halloween, and ghosts hate Halloween because they think it mocks their existence. Also, the house is besieged every year by punk kids, who traditionally egg and teepee the house because what else is there to do in the Hudson Valley? Sam and Jay, who we are beginning to realize are not as cool and hip as they seem, think they can relate to the kids to get them to stop and fail. So they tattle on them, which only makes things worse. In a rash, paranoid moments, the ghost accidentally burned down the gazebo. The ghosts don't want to get in trouble, so they lie that the kids did it, and now Sam and Jay have called the police and could ruin this kid's life over nothing. Luckily, the ghosts finally realize that would be immoral, so they confess and get their TV privileges taken away for a week. A pretty light affair, but it happens early in the show and really starts to show how the ensemble cast works, as everyone gets a bit of business and it all works. The comedy is tight, the gags are fresh, and it's fun to watch the ghosts argue. Also, can you believe these dorks wear the same costume every year, and it's the Step Brothers? What a weird reference. The next year, Sam and Jay are still trying to make friends in town, and Jay social awkwards himself into a lie that he is having a cool party at their house that night. They were not planning a party, and their attempts to make one happen at the last minute gets a limited response. The party is a bust, and they try to hold a seance to liven things up because, hey, they know some ghosts who could do some party tricks. Unfortunately, the seance works, and the ghost of a maid from Hetty's time appears. They do not like each other, and attempts to get her back into heaven are unsuccessful. So Jay is off to Liam Neeson's house to get their feather duster back, while Sam decides to lock both the maid and Hetty in the vault that ghosts can't walk through, so they talk it out. Unfortunately, Sam gets trapped inside herself when Flower closes the door. So the ghosts have to use their ghost powers to tell Jay that Sam is trapped and everything turns out fine. The maid is sent back to heaven, and Hetty learns a little humanity. Not a ton, but some. Perfect episode, a great example of really using all the little bits and pieces of the concept. Well-paced, lots of fun twists, and a good display of what our little crew can do in an emergency. That they caused, but still, they pulled through, and nobody died. We did not get the third Halloween special until March because of the writer's strike, which I fully supported. Please give people more money, especially me. Patreon, subscribe, call to action. But it was worth the wait as the show finally did what I had been waiting for, adding a new ghost to the ensemble via someone dying in the house. It had been hinted at and almost happened once before, but he was quickly revived by Thor using his electric powers while he was possessing Sam's body. Listen, this show goes places. But I did not expect them to pull a trick quite like this in an episode that really shows the writer's farcical chops. Sam and Jay are having a for-real Halloween party and invited a cool couple from the city that they want to woo. However, they also invited Carol, Pete's ex-wife, and she's a bit much. So they banish her to the kitchen, where she chokes to death on a donut hole. Of course, no one discovers this right away, and since Sam can still see Carol and assumes she's alive, this leads to a bunch of misunderstandings, and the couple comes to the conclusion that Sam and Jay murdered her, and they are next. The chaos keeps escalating and explodes in a very satisfying fashion, and the party breaks up because that's what happens when the coroner arrives. This is one thing that I think Ghost handles well, the cringe humor that is typical of sitcoms. While Sam and Jay often have to embarrass themselves because of ghost business, they are quick with their excuses, and the other people respond like normal human beings, finding it a little bit awkward, then immediately moving on. They don't linger on it, they just get on with their day. Makes the cringe go down a little easier. Plus, if things get too strange, people will just bounce. Lady's being a real weirdo, time to hit the bricks. That's all I'm going to tell you about Ghosts. You should probably just go watch it. It goes down fast. It's funny, quick, smart, and has a lot of heart. It can be overly maudlin and some of the personalities are weird, but it's fine because it's never boring or completely unbelievable, as we are already in the realm of fantasy. Some of these ghosts are going to act weird. Their consciousness has been trapped in the mortal realm for centuries. You try to stay sane in those circumstances. But yeah, Ghosts. It's a blast. Check it out. Happy Halloween. Oh, next time is Columbo. How about a little Columbo meets Star Trek, by which I mean actors from Star Trek. Top tier stuff. Bye.